The galaxy was vast, stretching endlessly in every direction. For the alien crew of the exploration ship Zirath, it was another routine mission. They traveled from one star system to another, scanning planets, cataloging life forms, and reporting back to their High Council. Most of the worlds they found were unremarkable, some barren, some barely holding primitive life. But occasionally, a planet appeared promising. One such planet had recently appeared on their scanners, flagged as potentially intelligent life detected. Captain Varric stared at the glowing holographic display in the bridge. "Everything looks ordinary," he muttered. The ship's sensors had swept the planet in every spectrum, infrared, ultraviolet, electromagnetic, but the results were strange. "Nothing," said Lieutenant Soren, frowning. "No cities, no energy signatures, only forests, rivers, and wild creatures. No intelligent life at all." Varric's antennae twitched in irritation. "Yet this planet was marked for potential intelligence. How is that possible?" The ship drifted silently above the planet. From space, it appeared serene. Vast forests stretched across continents, winding rivers sparkled under the light of its sun, and occasional bursts of movement suggested large creatures roaming freely. The alien scanners picked up patterns in the ecosystem: predators, prey, migration routes, but no signs of civilization. "This doesn't make sense," muttered Soren again. "Our automated systems were certain. There should be structures, something advanced." Varric's mandibles clicked in thought. "Prepare a closer scan. If there's anything hidden, we'll find it." Below, the planet's surface teemed with life. Herds of long-legged creatures grazed in open meadows, while carnivorous hunters stalked from the shadows. Rivers were alive with fish and amphibians. Birds soared overhead and strange, colorful insects darted among the trees. Yet amid all this life there was an eerie stillness. No roads, no settlements, no signs of technology. Just nature, perfect and untouched. But they were not alone. In the dense forests, hidden beneath enormous ferns and camouflaged within rocky outcrops, humans watched. Small groups moved silently, barely detectable to even the most advanced scanners. Unlike the aliens, humans blended with their environment. Their clothing was designed to shift colors, mimicking the surroundings, and their technology was subtle, advanced yet almost invisible to detection. A human named Kira crouched atop a rocky ridge, scanning the sky through a handmade optic device. "They're close," she whispered. Her brother Jaren nodded beside her, holding a small device that emitted pulses to detect motion. The device gave only faint readings, but it was enough. "This isn't a simple survey," he said. "They're hunting, or at least expecting something." Kira's eyes narrowed. "They won't find it, not yet. We can't reveal ourselves." The humans had been on this planet for generations, living quietly while the rest of the galaxy assumed it was uninhabited. They had advanced technology, yes, but they valued secrecy. Humanity's strength was not just in machines or weapons, it was in cunning, coordination, and the ability to adapt. And they had no intention of showing it yet. On the alien ship, Varric adjusted the sensors to sweep at a more precise frequency. "There's something odd," he said. "Some wildlife behavior seems coordinated, patterns that shouldn't exist naturally. Look at this herd. It moves like a single entity. Do you see it?" Soren peered at the screen. "It's unusual, almost as if something is guiding them. But that's impossible. No intelligent life is detected." Varric's eyes narrowed. "Impossible until proven otherwise. Prepare the landing craft. I want a closer look." As the ship descended, the forest below seemed alive in a different way. Birds scattered in sudden flurries. Small creatures darted through the underbrush, and the humans watched silently from hidden vantage points. Kira signaled to the others. They needed to see what the aliens would do, how they would react. The landing craft touched down in a clearing, stirring clouds of pollen and dust. The aliens stepped out cautiously, scanning the environment. They were tall, with segmented limbs and sharp eyes adapted to detect even the faintest movement. Their armor shimmered faintly, shielding them from the elements. "Stay calm," Varek ordered. "We observe. Do not interfere unless necessary." The humans obeyed, watching quietly. They could see the aliens moving through the clearing, examining trees, rocks, and rivers. Every movement was precise, almost robotic. Yet there was a strange sense of arrogance. These beings assumed the planet was empty of challenge. Suddenly, a small group of herbivores bolted past the aliens, as if fleeing some unseen predator. Varek froze. "Did you see that?" he hissed. They moved faster than normal. "Something is affecting them." Soren scanned the area. No predators detected. Nothing unusual in the environment. It's as if someone is guiding them. From the tree line, Kira smiled faintly. She tapped a device on her wrist, sending subtle signals into the surrounding forest. The creatures changed direction smoothly, avoiding the aliens without panicking. "It's working," she whispered. "They're getting confused but not harmed." "Perfect." The aliens exchanged uneasy looks. They had not expected resistance, not from invisible forces. They began scanning the forest in more detail, increasing the sensitivity of their devices. Jaren whispered to Kira, "We have to be careful. If they detect even a trace, they'll assume intelligence is nearby." "Exactly," Kira replied. "And they are not ready to see us yet. Let's make sure our home stays safe." Hours passed. The aliens moved through the clearing, taking samples of soil and plants, recording data about the ecosystem, all while unaware of the humans observing. From hidden positions, the humans communicated in whispers and subtle gestures, coordinating movements of animals and even redirecting small predators, making it seem like the planet's life was entirely natural. By nightfall, the aliens had collected what they needed and returned to their ship. Varek stared out at the forest from the bridge. "I don't understand it," he said. "The scans should have shown something. Intelligence, structures, anything. Yet the wildlife behaves as if guided. But no life form is visible. How can this be?" Soren shook her head. "We've missed something. I'm certain of it. But..." "What?" Below, the humans watched the ship take off, disappearing into the stars. Kira exhaled slowly. "They'll be back," she said. "And next time, they might be more careful. But they still don't know what they're dealing with." Jaren nodded. "They think the planet is empty, and that is their mistake." As the humans returned to their hidden villages deep within the forests, the stars shone brightly above. The galaxy was full of life, many species thinking themselves advanced. Yet humanity, quiet and unseen, held power untold, intelligence unmatched, and a secret that no scanner could detect. The alien ship Zirath had left the planet for only a few days, but the humans had already prepared for the inevitable return. Kira and Jaren, along with a small network of other humans, had spent years perfecting their methods of remaining hidden. They knew the aliens would come back, curious and arrogant, confident that this planet held no challenge. "This time, we need to be ready," Kira said, scanning the forest from a high ridge. Her eyes followed the treetops, where the shadows shifted with the wind. She held a device that amplified small movements and sounds. "We'll observe, protect the wildlife, and test them. Let's see if they can even handle this planet." Jaren adjusted the pulsometer on his wrist. It could send low-frequency signals to influence animal movement without harming them. The humans had learned to work with the planet's life, using it as both shield and messenger. "I've set the herds to shift patterns when they approach. They'll keep the aliens moving in circles. They won't suspect us." "Good," Kira said, nodding. "But we also need to see them up close. I want to understand how they think. It will help when we reveal ourselves, or when we need to remain invisible." The aliens returned sooner than expected, descending in a slow, calculated approach. Their ship was quiet and imposing, casting a shadow over the forest. Varek had grown obsessed with the strange behavior of the planet's wildlife. He could not accept that the creatures moved as if guided by an unseen intelligence. "Prepare the scanners," Varek ordered. "Increase the resolution. I want to see every movement. There is something here, something intelligent. I feel it. Soren adjusted the sensors. It's strange, she said. The patterns continue. The herds, the predators, even the smallest creatures. They move with purpose, avoiding hazards and interference. Yet no life is detected. No structures, no energy signatures. Nothing. Varek's antennae twitched with irritation. We will find it. We must. As the landing craft touched down in a clearing, the humans watched from above and below, carefully hidden in camouflaged observation posts. The forest seemed alive in new ways. Birds sang warning calls and small mammals shifted from one side of the clearing to another, all perfectly synchronized. Kira whispered, "They're falling into our trap without realizing it." The aliens stepped onto the soil, scanning, moving, carefully through the clearing. Their long limbs and segmented bodies glimmered in the sun. Every step they took, they calculated, expecting a world that posed no threat. But the humans were already orchestrating the environment. Trees gently swayed to block paths, streams altered slightly to redirect movement, and animals shifted to confuse the aliens. Varek noticed the herd of deer-like creatures suddenly dart across the clearing in unison. "Did you see that?" he exclaimed. "They're moving with intelligence, but why? There is no one here." Soren frowned. "Perhaps it is instinct amplified by the environment, but the coordination, it is too precise. Something or someone is controlling them." Kira's group remained completely invisible. From a ridge, Kira tapped her device and the nearest predator, a massive feline, paused, then subtly shifted its path, drawing the aliens into a narrow passage surrounded by dense undergrowth. Varek's sensors detected the movement but could not identify the source. "I don't understand it," he muttered. "The readings are scrambled. Some force is interfering with our sensors. Something intelligent but hidden." Soren's eyes widened. "This is impossible. Our technology should detect any life form of this size and activity, but it cannot. Something is masking them, or hiding them completely." The aliens pressed on, trying to follow the creatures, unaware that the humans were controlling each step. Jaren whispered to Kira, "They're stubborn. They won't leave until they understand what is happening." Kira smiled. "Good. Let them investigate. Let them think they are in control. That arrogance will be their mistake." Hours passed. The aliens' frustration grew as the forest seemed to shift against them. Rivers changed course just enough to slow their progress. Fallen trees blocked narrow paths, and flocks of birds constantly redirected attention. Every step was a puzzle. Varek stopped, examining the readings on his scanner. Something is not right. These creatures are too organized, and yet no life signatures are visible. How can this be? Soren shook her head. There is no logical explanation. Either this planet has intelligence we cannot detect, or we are missing something enormous. Above them, Kira and her team watched, whispering quietly. "It's time," she said. "They need to understand even a little that there is more here than meets the eye. But we will not fully reveal ourselves yet." Using subtle gestures and devices, the humans influenced the movement of animals again. A large predator, a massive wolf-like creature, moved into view, crouching near the aliens but stopped just short as if controlled. The aliens froze in fear. They had weapons, yes, but the sudden precision and timing of the animals unnerved them. Varek's eyes narrowed. This is deliberate. Someone is guiding them. But who? Where are they? Soren's scanner flickered. Still nothing. No life detected. But I can feel it. There is intelligence here, unseen. And it is powerful. The humans allowed a momentary glimpse of a camouflaged figure moving along the ridge. It was enough for the aliens to suspect something, but not enough to reveal the full truth. They saw movement, heard the faint rustle of fabric and footsteps, but could not detect a form. Jaren whispered, "They're starting to notice. Good. Let them think it's a ghost. Fear and confusion will make them cautious. Kira nodded. Exactly. They believe they are observing, but in truth we are observing them and learning their weaknesses. By evening, the aliens grew wary. They had failed to control even a single path. Their sensors were giving conflicting readings, and the planet seemed to resist their presence at every turn. Varric clenched his claws. We came for a survey, yet we are being toyed with. Who or what is doing this? There is no visible intelligence, no structures, no energy signatures. And yet, a sudden movement near the trees caught his attention. A human-controlled flock of birds swooped past, forming intricate patterns, guiding the aliens into a shallow valley. Varric froze, stunned by the precision. This is beyond natural. I cannot compute it, Soren whispered. We may have underestimated this planet. Whatever lives here, if it is life, it is not primitive, not by any measure we know. Kira smiled faintly, watching the confusion unfold. They are learning, she whispered. Just a little. Soon they will understand that we are not what they expect. But not yet. We have time. The aliens retreated to their ship for the night, confused and frustrated. They had collected no data, learned nothing about the unseen intelligence, and had only glimpsed hints that this planet held a secret far beyond their comprehension. Below, the humans regrouped, quietly congratulating each other. They're scared, said one. They are beginning to understand that this planet isn't as simple as they thought. Kira nodded. Yes, but they still do not know who we are, what we can do. That will come later. For now, we watch. We protect our world. And when the time comes, we will show them why humans are not to be underestimated. The night fell over, the forest, stars glinting like diamonds above. The humans returned to their hidden villages, silently moving among trees and rocks, while the aliens rested in their ship, puzzled and uncertain. One thing was clear. The galaxy had underestimated humanity, and humanity's untold power, quiet and precise, was only beginning to reveal itself. The forest was quiet in the early hours of the morning. Mist rolled through the trees, and the gentle hum of life seemed ordinary. But on this planet, nothing was ever simple. Kira and Jaren moved through the shadows, alert and calm, their senses sharper than any alien scanner could measure. The aliens will return today, Kira whispered, checking the horizon. We need to make sure they understand, even a little, that humans are not what they expect. Jaren nodded. I've set the animals to guide them toward the clearing. Not too aggressive, just enough to hint at control. They'll get scared, but they won't know why. From above the forest canopy, alien ships appeared on the horizon. The humans watched silently, hidden, as the explorers descended. This time, the aliens were more cautious. They had learned something from the previous encounter. The wildlife was no longer just wildlife. It moved with purpose, almost as if guided by some unseen intelligence. Varric scanned the area with a frown. We are being manipulated, he muttered. There is intelligence here, but I cannot detect it. This defies all our technology. Soren added, perhaps we are dealing with a life form unlike any we have ever known. I suggest extreme caution. Kira and her team silently prepared. Unlike before, they were ready to reveal a hint of their power. They would not be fully seen yet, but the aliens needed to feel the humans' influence directly. As the aliens approached the clearing, Kira tapped her wrist device. The ground trembled slightly, not enough to be dangerous, but enough to startle the animals. The deer-like herd scattered, moving in synchronized waves that blocked the aliens' paths. Birds swooped down from the trees, forming patterns that almost seemed like warnings. Varric froze. This cannot be natural, he said. The animals are acting coordinated, but no life is detected. Soren's mandibles clicked nervously. It feels deliberate. There is intelligence controlling them, and it is smart. Too smart to be primitive. From the shadows, Kira directed the movements, using a combination of subtle signals, sensors, and her team's knowledge of animal behavior. She made it appear as if the planet itself was alive, resisting the alien presence. A river shifted slightly, revealing hidden rocks that forced the aliens to detour. Predators emerged and disappeared, stalking without attacking. Every step the aliens took, they felt the weight of invisible eyes watching them. Suddenly, the humans decided to escalate. From the cover of the tree line, they activated a light projection system. It created shimmering, humanoid shapes moving around the clearing. The aliens froze in astonishment. The shapes moved with intelligence and precision, mimicking the humans' movements but entirely intangible. Varek's antennae twitched in disbelief. What is this? He hissed. Illusions? Or something more? Soren's sensors still detected nothing solid. It cannot be real. And yet, I feel it. The intelligence controlling it is immense. Kira's team remained hidden, whispering instructions and guiding every move. The projections danced, split, and reformed, creating an effect of overwhelming presence. The aliens backed away, unsure of how to respond. Their weapons were useless against something they could not detect or touch. Jaren whispered, "They're afraid now, exactly as planned. Let them feel the power without knowing its source." Kira nodded. "They need to understand that humans are not ordinary. Our strength is not just in weapons, but in intelligence, coordination, and control." The alien team tried to regroup. Varek barked orders, directing some of the aliens to scan more aggressively, to find the source of the projections. But every effort failed. The forests themselves seemed alive, guiding them away from potential traps, and the humans' subtle technology masked their presence perfectly. "Something is hiding us," Kira whispered. "Not hiding, controlling. They think they are in charge, but everything is going according to plan." A massive predator, a wolf-like creature, appeared at the edge of the clearing, snarling. The aliens aimed their weapons, but it stopped just short, held by the humans' influence. The sudden control of such a dangerous creature shook the alien explorers. They realized the intelligence guiding the wildlife could manipulate life itself. Varek's voice trembled slightly. This is beyond anything we imagined. There is intelligence here, but invisible, untouchable. Who could? Soren shook her head. "I cannot explain it. Our scanners fail. They should detect something, anything, but there is nothing. And yet it acts with precision, with strategy." Kira smiled slightly. "They are learning," she whispered. "They are beginning to respect the planet, but they still do not know us. Not yet." The humans decided to make a final demonstration. Using a combination of projections, controlled wildlife, and environmental manipulation, they created a coordinated display of power. Trees shifted, rivers changed course subtly, birds and animals moved in unison, and light projections danced across the clearing. The aliens found themselves surrounded, trapped in an environment they could not control or predict. Varek's mandibles clicked nervously. "We are cornered," he admitted. "And yet there is no one here. No enemies. How can this be?" Soren's antennas twitched. "We may have underestimated humanity, or whatever intelligence is here. They are brilliant, calculated, and completely hidden." From the shadows, Kira watched carefully. "It's enough for now," she whispered to Jaren. "They need to fear, not fully understand. If they see everything, they may attack out of desperation. We need them cautious, but alive." Jaren nodded. "Agreed. This will teach them to respect humans, but only partially." The aliens retreated, confused and shaken. Their technology had failed, their sensors were useless, and their arrogance had been shattered. The humans had not fired a single weapon, yet the aliens had experienced the full force of human strategy, intelligence, and subtle power. Back at their hidden village, the humans gathered. "They'll be back," Kira said, her voice calm but firm. And next time they will expect more than animals and illusions. They will know there is a force here they cannot control. Jaren added. And when they do return, we will be ready. They will learn that humans are not weak, not primitive, not easily fooled. They will learn that we are intelligent, adaptable, and capable of untold power. The night fell over the forest. Stars twinkled above like distant eyes watching silently. On the alien ship, Varric stared at his scanners, unable to comprehend the events of the day. They are extraordinary, he whispered to Soren. We expected primitive life. We expected nothing. But there is intelligence here, hidden, unseen, and powerful. Something we cannot detect. Something human. Soren's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. We underestimated them. This planet is not empty. And whoever is here is not to be trifled with. Deep in the forest, Kira smiled. Humanity remained hidden. But for the first time, the aliens had felt the power humans could wield. Not through brute force, but through intelligence, strategy, and coordination. The message was clear. Humans were not a species to be ignored or underestimated. Their power was untold, their presence concealed, and their potential limitless. And as the aliens retreated into space, they carried with them the first true understanding that humanity was a force unlike any they had encountered. The forest grew quiet once more, returning to its natural rhythm. But the humans remained vigilant, knowing that this was only the beginning. One day, the aliens, or the galaxy, would learn the full extent of human strength. And when that day came, no one would be able to ignore it. The sun rose over the forest in soft, golden light, casting long shadows across the ground. Birds chirped, rivers gurgled, and small animals scurried through the undergrowth. On the surface, the planet seemed peaceful and ordinary. But beneath, that quiet tension rippled through the hidden villages of humans. They're coming back, Kira said, scanning the horizon from a ridge. Her sharp eyes detected the faint glint of alien ships far above the treetops. And this time, they won't just observe, they'll act. Jaren nodded, adjusting a small device strapped to his wrist. I've set the wildlife to react aggressively if they approach too closely, but we'll guide them carefully. No one gets hurt unless necessary. Our goal is control, not violence. Kira's team had spent the night planning. Every step the aliens might take had been anticipated. The humans would use the environment, their hidden technology, and their deep understanding of tactics to make the aliens see that they were not to be trifled with. The aliens descended in silence, their ships moving with calculated precision. Varric's face was tense. We cannot underestimate them anymore, he said to Soren. Whatever intelligence exists here is beyond our scanners. It has power, strategy, and control over this planet. We must proceed with caution. Soren's antennae twitched nervously. Agreed. But we cannot leave without answers. We must understand what, or who, is behind this. As the landing craft touched down, Kira signaled her team. Animals shifted subtly, creating paths that led the aliens deeper into the forest, but always away from the humans' hidden villages. Birds darted in flocks, herding the aliens into narrow corridors, while small predators appeared and disappeared, giving the illusion that the forest itself resisted intrusion. Varric's mandibles clicked with frustration. Every path we take is blocked. Every step is anticipated. How can a planet resist us without visible intelligence? Soren scanned the area. It is not the planet. It is something living, something we cannot see. Something human. The humans decided it was time to escalate. Kira tapped her wrist device, sending subtle pulses into the nearby river. Water swirled unnaturally, diverting the aliens' path and forcing them into a canyon flanked by steep cliffs. The terrain itself seemed alive, controlled with precision. One of the aliens stumbled over a fallen tree, its scanner briefly disrupted by the interference from hidden human devices. Varric growled. This is deliberate. They are guiding us, but we cannot detect them. How? Jaren whispered to Kira. They're starting to panic. Perfect. Let them feel fear without knowing the source. From the tree line, Kira activated a holographic projection. The images shimmered in the morning light. Humanoid forms moving swiftly, splitting and reforming in patterns that mimicked human soldiers. The aliens froze, weapons raised, uncertain what they were seeing. Do you see this? Varek hissed. Illusions, projections, this is impossible. Soren's sensors still detected nothing tangible. The intelligence behind this is immense. Whoever they are, they can manipulate the environment, control wildlife, and deceive our technology. They are brilliant. The humans were careful not to fully reveal themselves. The projections, guided animals, and environmental manipulation were enough to demonstrate power without risk. A massive wolf-like creature appeared at the edge of the clearing, controlled by subtle signals. It snarled and charged but stopped inches from the aliens, held in perfect balance. Varek's antennae twitched in alarm. This is beyond comprehension. They can control life, and they are invisible. How can any species possess this level of control? Soren added, it is not just control. It is strategy, coordination, intelligence, and it is human. I feel it. Kira smiled faintly from her hiding place. They are learning. They respect the power now, but they do not yet know the full extent. We'll keep them cautious. That is enough for now. The aliens tried to regroup. They formed teams, scanning more aggressively and attempting to anticipate the humans' next moves. But every path they took led to confusion. Trees shifted slightly, rivers blocked passages, and flocks of birds diverted attention. Small animals seemed to guide the aliens into dead ends, while unseen forces controlled the larger predators. Varek growled in frustration. This planet is against us. Every step, every move is anticipated, and yet there is nothing we can detect. How can we fight an enemy we cannot see? Soren's antennas quivered. We cannot, but we can observe and learn. This intelligence, human intelligence, is extraordinary. We must be careful. Kira signaled the next phase. Using subtle pulses and projections, she guided the aliens into a narrow canyon where the environment itself became a weapon. Trees bent to block exits, rocks shifted slightly to create obstacles, and the air seemed charged with tension. Every move the aliens made was predicted, anticipated, and countered. Jaren whispered, they're trapped, in a way, not physically harmed but mentally challenged. They cannot predict our moves, and that frustrates them. They will remember this lesson. Kira nodded. Exactly. This is the heart of human strength, intelligence, strategy, and adaptability. They will see it, even if they cannot understand it fully. Hours passed. The aliens' frustration grew. Their technology was rendered useless by invisible human devices. Every plan they attempted to execute failed. They began to feel the humans' presence in ways they could not quantify, like shadows shifting in their peripheral vision, or patterns forming in nature that suggested intelligence. Varek hissed, we must retreat. We cannot continue blindly. Every attempt to control this environment fails, and yet something guides it. Something intelligent. Something human. Soren nodded reluctantly. We may have underestimated humanity, or whatever intelligence exists here. They are not weak. They are clever, precise, and organized, and we cannot detect them. From the shadows, Kira watched silently, satisfied. They have learned their first lesson, she whispered. Humans are not to be underestimated, but we are still hidden. Our true power remains untold. The aliens slowly retreated to their ships, confused, frustrated, and humbled. They had expected a simple planet with no intelligent life. Instead, they encountered a species that could manipulate the environment, control wildlife, and deceive even the most advanced technology. Kira and her team regrouped in the forest, quietly congratulating each other. They will come back, she said. And when they do, they will remember. Humans are not a species to be underestimated. not for their strength alone, but for their intelligence, coordination, and adaptability. Jaren added, "They will know that even if they cannot see us, we are in control. And that is power." The forest returned to its quiet rhythm, the mist drifting between trees and sunlight breaking through in patches. Birds chirped, rivers flowed, and small animals moved. Through the undergrowth, all seemed peaceful, but humanity had left its mark on the aliens' minds. Varek stared at the forest from his ship, unable to comprehend what had happened. This human intelligence, it is extraordinary. We came to explore, to find life, and yet we encountered a species we could not predict, could not measure, and could not control. They are brilliant. Soren nodded slowly. And they have shown restraint. No harm done, yet we feel their power. That is strength, unlike any we have seen. Kira watched from the shadows, a faint smile on her face. Humanity remained hidden, their full power untold. But the aliens had felt their influence and intelligence. The message was clear. Humans were a species unlike any other in the galaxy. Not merely strong or advanced, but intelligent, cunning, and capable of feats that no one could predict. The day ended with the forest calm once more, but the humans remained vigilant. The aliens would return, curious and cautious. And when that day came, humans would be ready, not just to demonstrate power, but to show why their intelligence, strategy, and coordination were unmatched in the galaxy. The forest's silence was deceptive. Humanity's untold power had been revealed in small ways, enough to shock the aliens but not enough to expose the full extent. And that was exactly how it was meant to be. The forest was bathed in morning light, a soft glow filtering through the leaves. Birds sang, rivers flowed, and the gentle hum of life continued as usual. But the humans of this planet were ready. The alien explorers would return once more, and this time humanity would reveal enough to earn their respect. Kira stood on a high ridge looking out at the approaching ships. Her eyes narrowed, calm and focused. "Today we make them understand," she said. "Not everything, but enough to know that humans are not to be underestimated." Jaren nodded beside her, adjusting his devices. "All wildlife is in position, the rivers, the birds, the animals. We control their movements. The environment itself will be our shield and our signal. Other humans move silently through the forest, hidden from view, each with a role. Some controlled subtle environmental changes, shifting trees, manipulating water flow, guiding animal movements. Others monitored the aliens' scanners, ensuring that no trace of humans would be detected unless intentionally revealed. "We need to show them intelligence," Kira added. "Power alone is not enough. They must see that humans think, plan, and adapt." The alien ships descended slowly, their movements cautious. Varek's face was tense, his eyes scanning the forest below. "We have encountered intelligence here before," he said to Soren, "but today we must confront it. We cannot leave with questions unanswered." Soren's antennas twitched. "Agreed. But I warn you, this species is unlike any we have faced. They think in ways we cannot predict. Be careful." As the aliens landed, the forest seemed to come alive around them. Trees bent slightly to obscure paths, rivers shifted subtly to slow progress, and flocks of birds moved in intricate patterns overhead. Predators appeared briefly, then vanished, guided by invisible hands. Every move the aliens made was anticipated. Varek growled, frustrated. "They are controlling the environment. Every path, every obstacle, it is deliberate. But still, no. Life is detected. How can this be?" Soren scanned the area. "It is not brute force. It is intelligence, coordination, strategy, and I believe it is human." This time, Kira decided it was time for a partial reveal. Using holographic projections, subtle energy pulses, and animal movements, she created a coordinated display of human capability. Glimmering forms appeared across the clearing, moving in precise patterns. Birds, predators, and even water currents seemed to follow invisible commands. The aliens were surrounded on all sides, yet they could see no humans. Varek froze. Impossible. They are everywhere and nowhere at once. And they are intelligent. Highly intelligent. How? Soren's sensors still detected no tangible life. I feel them. I sense their decisions, their coordination. This is a species that plans, adapts, and controls without being seen. Extraordinary. Jaren whispered to Kira. They see part of our power. Enough to respect us, but not enough to provoke aggression. Kira nodded. Exactly. We will show them intelligence and restraint. That is more powerful than any weapon. The humans then guided a massive predator into view, but it stopped inches from the aliens, held perfectly by invisible influence. The aliens' weapons were useless. They realized the humans could control life itself, and yet had chosen not to harm them. Varek's mandibles clicked nervously. We are outmatched, not by force but by strategy, by intelligence. We cannot touch them, we cannot detect them, and they have shown restraint. Incredible. Soren's antennas quivered. They are not merely intelligent, they are moral. They could destroy us, and yet they do not. That is strength of a kind we rarely see. Kira signaled her team to maintain the illusion. Every movement was deliberate, a lesson in human power. The aliens could see it, feel it, and understand that humans were unlike any species in the galaxy. After hours of careful demonstration, the aliens retreated to a small clearing. Kira decided it was time to communicate directly but subtly. Using a combination of projection and carefully modulated energy pulses, she created a humanoid form visible only to the aliens. It was a single human, standing calm and confident. Barek's eyes widened. Finally, a form. But it cannot be. How can one be so powerful and unseen until now? Kira spoke, her voice clear but calm. We are humans. We live here. We observe. We protect our world. You have underestimated us. But now, you understand, humanity is not weak. We are intelligent, adaptable, and capable of untold power, Soren whispered almost in awe. They speak with authority, and yet no harm has come to us. They are honorable. The aliens realized the truth. These humans could have destroyed them easily, controlled them fully, and yet they chose not. That restraint, combined with intelligence and coordination, impressed the alien crew beyond measure. Kira continued, You may leave this planet in peace. Remember what you have seen. Humanity is a species to respect, not to underestimate. We do not seek conflict, but we will defend our world, and those who challenge us will regret it. Varek bowed slightly in acknowledgement, a gesture of respect. We understand, he said. We came seeking intelligence and found something we could not have imagined. You are extraordinary. Your strength is not in weapons alone, but in your mind, your coordination, and your restraint. We will leave, but we will carry your lesson across the stars. Soren nodded. We underestimated humanity. Never again. The alien ships lifted from the clearing, moving slowly into the sky. The humans watched silently, ensuring no ships strayed into areas where they could be tempted to probe too closely. As the ships disappeared into the distance, the forest seemed to exhale a quiet sigh of relief. Back in their hidden villages, humans gathered to discuss the events. They understand now, Kira said. They know our intelligence, our coordination, and our restraint. They will speak of this to others. Humanity has earned respect in the galaxy, quietly, without violence. Jaren smiled. And our secret remains intact. They do not know the full extent of our power, but they know enough to respect it. Other humans nodded. They will spread the story. Soon all species will think twice before underestimating humanity. That is the greatest power of all, being respected without needing to dominate. Kira looked out over the forest, her eyes reflecting determination and pride. Yes, humanity is ready. One day the galaxy will know what we are capable of. But for now we remain vigilant, hidden and wise. Our strength is in our mind, our coordination, and our morality. That is what makes us truly powerful. The forest returned to its quiet rhythm. Birds chirped, rivers flowed, and animals moved freely. Yet the humans were no longer just hidden observers. They were guardians, strategists, and keepers of untold power. High above, alien scouts flew silently, carrying tales of the humans' brilliance back to their leaders. Humanity had demonstrated intelligence, strategy, and moral restraint. The galaxy would never look at them the same way again. Kira turned to her team, a faint smile on her face. The galaxy has learned its first lesson, and humanity's untold power will only grow from here. Jaren nodded. And when the time comes, we will be ready, not just to defend, but to inspire respect, caution, and awe. That is the human way. As the sun set over the forest, the humans disappeared back into the shadows, unseen but always present. Their untold power had been revealed in part, and the aliens departed with a newfound respect. Humanity remained, mysterious, intelligent, and powerful, a species to be reckoned with across the galaxy. The stars shone above like distant witnesses, and in the quiet forest below, humans smiled, knowing their time was coming, and that the galaxy would one day see the full strength of untold human potential.